I have played many shooter games in Roblox. It's only natural, of course, as first-person shooters are one of the most prominent genres in Roblox and gaming as a whole. You might even come across games like, for example, Warfare Tycoon, that will mix the Tycoon genre with the FPS genre. However, last night I came across a game that's much more unique. A game that's not your typical war, gang, or mafia deal. No. What we got here is more on the boomer side. A game so unique looking you'd be understandably tricked into thinking it's your typical $5 game on Steam that's unironically incredible to play. So, ladies and gents, and everything in between, please allow me a few minutes to introduce you to Pixagame in its beta state. First things first, the main menu. The main menu is this playful, cool-sounding Pixar-themed menu that you'd think belongs to a family-friendly game about baking or doing graffiti while skating. And then you play the game. Pixagame is developed by Man Games, who have already worked on other games such as Riptide and Cord, games which sadly I am unable to find at the time of writing this, which means they've probably been deleted. This game involves you, the player, taking the role of Pixaguy, a man trying to save his world from the Iron Gate, a goddess who lets demons run wild on the earth we all know and love to hate. The game actually possesses an index of sorts, so you can read about all the enemies, characters and weapons you find across your playthroughs. The general gist of the game is that you have to get from one side of the map to the other without losing your health. There's a limited number of hits you can withstand before dying, with a pretty cool game over screen. The key to surviving is the following: the better you do in the game, the more souls you'll get. These souls are the most important thing you have, as they're your life system, your currency, and also something you should save up on. They're your life system in the sense that when you get hit all 5 times, if you have a soul on you, instead of going to the game over screen immediately, you get 5 more hit points to continue fighting. They're your currency in the sense that if you like to dabble in random chance, you can find Kiosk's Kiosk, that's his real name by the way, Kiosk, and spend souls for a spin that can give you plenty of upgrades for your run, such as Kevlar, more ammo in weapons and other special perks. So if you've got plenty of souls and aren't exactly the cautious type, feel free to try and get something good. That being said, it might be a good idea to keep at least a soul on you at all times, not just for the healing aspect, but also because at every stage transition you'll get the option to give away all your souls, half of them, or none, and if you choose to not give any souls away, or don't have any to spare, your max health will take a plunge. So that's the glue that unites every element of this game. The souls are like the blood in Ultra Kill, it's the fuel that powers you. And speaking of Ultra Kill, you know what the game also has? Oh yeah, a wide assortment of weapons, of course. Pixagame does have a few inspired weapons, which isn't really that much of an issue because, well, why should it be? We all love Ultra Kill in this household. Pixagame has a bunch of interesting weapons like shotguns, rifles, and even some futuristic looking arms. Not to mention a katana or a saw, which you can use to slice enemies in half and deflect projectiles like a right proper samurai inibrub. The game can be quite challenging, and don't expect it to hold your hand too much. You don't get as many options for movement as you would in Ultra Kill, for example, but you do have the ability to double jump and sort of bunny hop. This is a more gritty and realistic romp that makes sure you understand you are far from being a god of destruction, and if you've made it this far, it's been through pure skill and a bit of luck. In a good way, of course. Another good thing in the game is the upgrade menu. They offer changes to the game, such as more ammo on weapons with the downside that they'll appear less often, or switching your default weapon to a double barrel shotgun and making it so the enemy's sauce heals you. Oh god, that doesn't sound right at all. You unlock more upgrades as you progress through the levels, and it allows for a more customizable experience, as you can choose the upgrade that suits you the most. Once you find the right upgrade for you, you'll be swimming through hordes and having a feast of souls at every step. The soundtrack is completely original, by Mr. Cream Soda, and you can listen to it in its entirety in his YouTube channel. Each track absolutely fits the vibe, the place and the action. Meanwhile, the animations are top notch. Seeing kiosks spin the bar on the side every time you pay a soul is like eye candy to me. When Dread eats an upgrade before you get to know what it is feels exciting, and all the weapon animations are, for lack of a better word, cool as shit. Now, allow me to offer some criticism. When you're in the middle of a firefight, moving from side to side, jumping all over the place, shooting like crazy, you can barely tell when you're getting hit, as all that happens when you do is the screen shakes a little bit. I feel like having a slightly louder sound play or covering the screen in red for a second would convey the feel of being damaged a little bit better. Another thing I would hugely appreciate is if there was an option to change the mouse sensitivity. I feel like the camera moves slightly too fast for my taste when I'm trying to aim more precisely, and it gets difficult to aim, but that's probably just a me thing. Also, for those watching who might be interested in trying this game out, do keep in mind that this is still in beta, and there's plenty of bugs. In fact, if you have certain upgrades equipped, you might get stuck at a certain boss, the first boss. It just happened to me actually while getting footage for the game, and I sincerely hope it gets fixed very soon. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the game. It's got interesting lore, interesting scenes, interesting characters, interesting animation, and honestly, it's such a unique experience that it almost doesn't feel like it's Roblox anymore. And while I'm not usually the kind of guy who gives scores to everything, I do feel compelled to give this game, in its current state, an 8 out of 10. Because, well, it can only get better from here. I mean, have you seen this game? It's incredible. Go play it right now, and if you want, make sure to join their Discord server. This game can barely reach the 100 active players mark. So it would be nice if more people join the community and give it a little boost, as well as give it some more feedback, more bug reports and such, because this game has a huge potential, as huge as Mount Olympus. So I will insist as many times as I humanly can, you have to play this game. You will find a link to it down in the description, so you can check it out for yourself, get a good feel for it, join the group and all that jazz, and see if we can get this game out of obscurity, because my god, it's incredible. Anyway, as you can tell, I've run out of constructive things to say, so I think I'm gonna call it here. I hope I've managed to interest you in this game, and I wish you a very good week. Blocks on.